Okay, let's just wing this thing. Make everything in your life as simple as possible. One thing that I learned that if you make everything as detailed and as complicated as you can, your life becomes complicated. Therefore, it becomes a little bit more difficult and becomes a little bit hard to do the daily tasks that you want to do. But if you keep everything in your life as simple as possible, it becomes a little bit feasible. I wouldn't say it's not hard, but I would say it's more tolerable to do the things that you actually want to do in life. I heard this one thing from the money guys that complexity usually just follows you everywhere you go. You don't have to make your life complicated because life in and of itself can become complicated. Again, complexity follows you wherever you go. No matter how much you make it simple, no matter how much you make it as bare bones as much as possible. Sometimes it becomes complicated at the very end of the day. It's just natural. This can be applied to different aspects of your life. This could be from finances, from exercises, diet, and routines. This is just only the four things that I want to explain of how simplicity can be very beneficial in your day to day life. There's a lot of financial advice out there and a lot of gurus that talk about making your finances as complicated as possible. But at the very end of the day, making money can be simple. I'm not gonna say it's hard, but it can be simple. It's just a tedious process. There's a lot of things out there that are a little bit out of the ordinary and unorthodox, and I don't want to say don't follow those plans because again, it is your life. But it becomes very complicated and very complex once you follow it. And then at the end, you might even lose your money or you might not even do it in the first place. Just follow to the basic steps and follow the basic routines of where your money goes. Again, money in, money out. Track where your money comes in, track where your money comes out. As much as possible, at the very end of the day, you want as much money in your bank account compared to you spending it out. I'll leave it up to you on which credible informations and resources out there about regarding finances, like, because again there's so much out there, but it's just up to you on where you find those credible ones and the most simple ones, the ones that you are actually going to follow and the one that's going to be most beneficial for you. Number two, exercise. As much as possible, keep your exercise and training routine as simple as possible. When you make it too complicated, it becomes very overwhelming and it becomes very difficult to do it because you have to think about all the things that you have to do. You know, you have to think about this sets and this routines and this and that. And at the very end of the day, all you have to do is go to the gym and just do the simple basic exercises and workouts because that's the most important thing is to actually get yourself moving, get yourself as healthy as possible by working out. Even if it's just calisthenics, push ups, sit ups, pull ups, any kind of those exercises is good enough as long as you start it. And then once you get used to it and once, it becomes a little bit boring, then you can make it tweak it a little bit where it becomes a little bit more fun. But at the very first and at the very start, keep it as simple as possible. Don't make it complicated. Again, trust me, I've been there before. I researched and I planned. And at the very end of the day, I didn't even go because it was too overwhelming for me. Third one is a diet. There's a lot of macros and micros that you have to follow just so that you can follow this strict diet plan that you want to do, grow a certain body or grow a certain health that you want to do. Yeah, keep your foods basic. Just a lot of intake of protein. Don't eat too much sugar. Don't eat too much sweets or sugar. Don't eat too much carbs. There's healthy fats and there's bad fats. You've lived so many years now knowing what the goods and the bads are. Just know what the good foods are to eat and know what the bads are to avoid. And then start from there. The very first thing that you have to do is just know those things, know what to eat, start eating them, and then you can actually plan and be very detailed about your diet if you want to. But again, just start and make it simple. The next one is routines. I want to include this in this one because I've been seeing a lot of videos about morning routines and night routines, and it becomes very complicated. It takes about 30 minutes to an hour just to do them. And I'm not even hating on them because, again, they're trying to optimize their life as much as possible. But at the very end of the day, sometimes you just want to relax and you just want to do the most basic thing to keep your body and mind as healthy as possible. So, if you like meditating, if you like journaling, if you like working out, if you like all those self improvement stuff, do a little bit of them every day. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to take too much chunk out of the day, but just a little bit, just enough, just so that you can incorporate them into your daily life. But if it becomes too overwhelming or if it becomes too complicated, try to minimize them into one or two sections. Let's just say start with meditation or journaling for the first few months. And once that becomes a habit, once that sticks, and then it is just part of your life, then go for the different habit and go for a different hobby that you want to do. Doing all of them at the same time and doing them all pretty much in a huge chunk of your day, it's not gonna stick. Trust me, it's definitely not gonna stick. You're gonna do them probably like a few days or a few weeks, and then you're just gonna give up on them because it takes too much of your time. So again, just keep it as simple as possible and just do what you think is important for you first and then go on from there. And that is it. I just want to make that video because I've been making my life as complicated as possible because I want to optimize it as much as possible. But at the very end of the day, the very best thing for me is to just start and do what is needed to be done. And by doing that, I have to make it as simple as possible.